Hello, welcome to Nourishment 101 Weight Loss Tips for me, Kiana Hines. I'm a certified holistic nutritionist, and what I'm using today is all of my gained knowledge, practice, and experience in the holistic nutrition field to give you the 10 most valuable tips that I find are the most valuable to help you on your weight loss journey, not just weight loss, but also to help you to recover from any type of illness or setback that you have where the source is nutrition related. So let's dive in. The first thing I want to do is share my screen with you. And so I'm going to start with a slide that I prepared for today's meeting that goes over the tips one by one so that I can give you a demonstration. So let's share screen. Okay. So the first thing that we're going to talk about today are my 10 weight loss tips. And like I said, they're also for recovery as well. So the first tip is to refrain from eating fats and carbs at the same time. This is huge. Why? Because this is where most of our problems stem from, is not really understanding how the combination of a carb and a fat together puts the body in distress, because your stomach acid is only strong enough to break down one or the other. It is not strong enough to break down both at the same time. And while this is the case, many of us still eat most of our meals as one or both of these pictures here the majority of the time. Don't eat and drink at the same time. We often have a glass of juice, a glass of water, or soda beside our plates when we're eating dinner or when we're eating breakfast, as you can see here, and it has become the standard for our American diet. So what we would like, or what I would like to stress here, is that you need to drink either 30 minutes before your meal or 30 minutes after your meal. Why? Because when you drink, it is interfering with the strength of your stomach acid. So it's not allowing your acid to be able to be strong enough to break down all of the foods that you're eating. It actually dilutes it. So you want to drink either 30 minutes before, or like I said, 30 minutes after, but definitely not during. Chew slowly, take your time to eat. I am always the last one at the table most of the time. That's because I don't allow anybody to rush me while I eat. When I take my time and chew, I actually am able to digest my food quicker. It goes through my body quicker. My body's able to take the nutrients that it needs from those foods and break them down and take the proteins out and use the proteins to make whatever my body needs at that time. So yes, your body does make the protein when you give it the right fuel. So when you take your time and eat, then this allows the body to actually do its job a lot quicker and more efficiently. How you move inventory is critical. There are a lot of different places in different countries that have just like a hole in the ground where people used to squat. And that's because that is the ideal way for us to use the bathroom, believe it or not. Actually, sitting upright on the toilet is a more modern way, but it does not help with our digestive system at all. Actually, when you bend, you put pressure on your digestive system to help stimulate it to move fecal matter through your colon. And so if you bend over when you're sitting on the toilet, or you use a little tool and lean forward, a little stool or a squatty potty is what they call them today. You can order those from Amazon, or you can have a footstool at the house, but prop your feet up on that and lean forward. It helps tremendously to move inventory, if you understand what I mean. Whatever you do, don't strain, because straining can cause hemorrhoids. It can also, whenever you strain, it tightens the colon. And if you have food that's undigested, then it can actually tear through your colon wall. So you want to make sure you don't strain whenever you're using the restroom. Don't break your fast before 16 hours of digestion. What this means is break fast is the word breakfast when it's put together. And we call it breakfast because it's usually the first thing that we eat when we get up. But you can break your fast in the afternoon. It doesn't have to be in the morning. The most important thing is to not put any type of sugar. And yes, milk is a sugar. It's lactose. You don't want to put any type of sugar in your body within a 16-hour, well, while you're fasting, okay, or before you break your fast, which is giving your body 16 hours to digest that food from last night. Okay. So I typically start eating my meals at 11 and I typically stop eating at 7 o'clock. This is on a daily because this helps my body digest food at the optimal rate, as well as it keeps my metabolism high and it keeps my stomach from protruding. It allows me to digest everything properly. It gives my body also a break, because with you eating and drinking all day, moving around, your body is tired. It needs time to rest. And part of that energy, a big part of the energy that your body uses is digesting food. So you definitely want to give it a 16-hour window of having no food to drink and to eat. And if you drink anything, you want it to be either water. You can drink coffee or you can drink tea, but no sugar and no milk in that coffee or tea. And that is keeping your body from overworking. Okay. So anything with sugar, including milk, before 16 hours is breaking your fast. And you don't want to break it before your 16 hours of digestion, period. Drink a glass of water before anything else in the morning. So basically what this means is the first thing you put in your body should be water. And that's just no matter whether you're eating or drinking, period. Water should be the first thing that you start your day with, a glass of water. Why? Because water sets the pace for any cravings that you may have throughout the day. And if you drink a glass of water, then it actually speaks to your microflora and tells your microflora to kind of chill, relax, and not be hungry. Also, it speaks to the good bacteria and tells it what it needs to request, versus the first thing you eat in the morning being like a pastry or donut or having a glass of juice. That right there, it starts your bacteria it wakes it up and it requests things. They start requesting things, and those things are not going to be healthy 9 times out of 10. Plus it encourages you to hold your fast before you break it. So water, it takes away the hunger. It helps direct your microflora into what to ask for. And if you notice that it's no coincidence what we crave in the morning for breakfast and what we typically eat, because everything we eat is linked to that bacteria and emotions. If you have certain emotions, you're going to crave certain foods. They're linked together. Stop eating when you are full. So a lot of times we overeat, like the guy in the picture here. We overeat. We don't know when to stop. But when you get full, anything after that you eat is basically gluttony, which is one of the 7 cardinal sins. And that just means that you don't know when you've had enough until it's too late. and you make yourself sick. This is huge when it comes to losing weight. Is many times more than not, we overeat and we don't realize it, that contributes to a lot of weight gain. Eating the right fuel is one of the most important things that I can stress to you today, because you would not put diesel fuel in a gasoline engine because your car would break down. Well, the same thing with your body. The car was actually built after the human body. The human body takes certain fuel, and most of the time we fill it with this one here, meat. We should only be eating 20% of meat. But most of the time it's 80% of our plate. So 80% should be all of these other categories: fruits, nuts, seeds, grains, vegetables, beans, legumes. Meat should only be there as 20% of a plate. This is what keeps a lot of Chinese people small, a lot of Asians real small, because they do not fill most of their plate up with meat if they eat it at all. It's usually 20% or less. Most of the time, a 7-ounce piece of steak or chicken can feed the whole family because they eat for taste when it comes to meat, not for getting full. So if you eat for nutrition, then that will be the guide for your meal, and most of your meal will be the right foods. Set goals. Know where you are and know where you're going. Everybody knows Jennifer Hudson, and that's why I use a picture of her just to show, like, with the right mindset, you can reach any goal you have, even weight loss. And I know most people struggle with this, and that's because you don't know where you're starting from, and you don't know where you're going. You need to know what your weight is. You need to know what your fat percentage is. You need to know what your muscle mass is, what your water percent is in your body. And when you know all of those things, then you can measure them and you can keep track of where you are day to day with those things and if what you're doing is working or not. So I just listed some examples of the type of goals that you need to be setting, which is drink 3 glasses of water today. Simple goal. You want to start small. Don't eat after 7 p.m. Do that for a week. Stop when you get full. Plan your meal for the next 3 days. Be intentional when you plan your meals. Know what it is that you want to have to rely on when you get hungry, instead of just grabbing anything to settle down the hunger pains. Don't drink any soda this week. If you know that soda is your crutch, or if you know that Debbie cakes are your crutch, then take that out of your diet for the week. See how you feel. Learn to listen to your body. It will give you some feedback. And more than anything, try a new food group. Many of us only eat 2 of those food groups that we listed on the last slide. But if you actually expand your categories, your food categories, you'd be surprised that you never run out of things to eat. More than anything, stay focused, stay disciplined, and be consistent. With those 3 things combined, you can reach your weight loss goals, you can reach your health recovery goals, any goals that you set when it comes to the body. You can meet those if you stay focused. Don't listen to what other people say. Many times when you start losing weight, people, they make comments. Oh, you look like you're sick. Oh, you look like you are this or you are that. Just say thank you, and just know that whatever they're saying is because it's something that you're doing is being noticed. Keep it up. Keep up the good work. This is a natural, safe way to lose weight. So you don't have to worry about losing too much. Your body knows how to stop when you get to the ideal weight and for your height. It is really intelligent if you just give it a chance. Stay disciplined. Sometimes you're not going to want to eat healthy. Most of the time, starting out, you're not going to want to eat healthy. But if you discipline yourself to stick to the plan, to stick to the goal, then you will reach your goal. and be consistent. You can't do this one week and then go back to eating how you were eating the next week. You have to be consistent. This is a lifestyle change. It is not a diet. It is not a fad. This is your new lifestyle. If you incorporate these 10 tips that I just gave you, then there is no way you can lose, but you do have to be consistent. Thank you for joining me today on this call. I will be offering weekly classes with a $25 monthly membership. Each week, we will go over some new ways, new tips, new ideas, things that you can incorporate in your day-to-day. We'll answer questions on what's working, what's not working, and I will give you some ideas as far as what to eat, what type of meals to put together, because that's key, what you eat and when you eat. And the first 15 members to sign up get a $10 discount. So that means it's a $15 monthly membership instead of $25. So to reserve your spot, please text your name and email address to 256-469-8499. Thank you all for joining me today, and I look forward to being able to see each of your faces in class starting next week. Have a good night.